No harm done at the moment then for Danish. We'll keep an eye on it if we get anything on the screen about track limits warnings or shortcut or anything else.
Meanwhile, Mia is making
what
another move for the lead once again. That is classic. That is exactly what this sort of section of the circuit was designed for. Moves like that, and that was just executed to perfection from the three-time podium finisher here in Mandalika.
It was indeed. That was very nice stuff from the number 5 then, and he's back in the race lead. Let's see what the others have got for him at the moment. I think he's going to make it into turn 1, but obviously I can be immediately proved wrong.
This is the age of talent cup after all, as we go in towards turn 1. So
no, I was right this time.
No, yes, absolutely. Well, it's about time we're both right about something for once in occasion. We've been doing it for 4 years now, haven't we? So let's take a look at the line choices here. You can see Hakim Danish just loves that little bit wider line. Mie so much tighter there and just takes that different line choice in towards turns 4 now and heading out onto this long, flat-out run here. Keep an eye on how they go through turns 8 then, because that's where Danish went wrong last time. This is the chasing group. You got Wakamatsu from Indonesian, podium finisher yesterday for Dilla, and Adaki just behind them.
Yep, and Carter Thompson in that group as well, so it definitely was an error earlier, and the number 6 remains on track, although Son's orange helmet making life a bit more complicated. These guys, though, they're really going at it out, and Danish again over onto the green, the number 13. He needs to be careful there, because we don't want to see penalties getting in the way of this great fight for the win.
Yeah, exactly. I'd love to have another look at that, because I couldn't tell whether he was maybe pushed out a little bit by Zara. I'm guessing that's what he would plead if it stood up in court, but not this time, in front of my friend. Judge. So down towards turn 10 we come once again. Mie then, well, he certainly did his homework last night. This is not turn 10, my apologies, the camera angle took me by surprise. It's towards turn 16 now, where we saw that overtaking move from last time, but no such attempts this time around. 10 laps to go as they come across the line. It will be 9.
It will indeed. So you can see Danish there maybe thinking about that nice little pickpocket move, but not that time around. They're a lot closer to the back of the number 5 this time though, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see some attacks into turn 1. Who is going to come out on top in the shuffle of the braking zone?
Well,
Azawa through.
Wowee, that was a proper dive, wasn't it? And didn't really leave any room left for Mie to take him back through, did he?
I was worried Danish was also going to go for it there, but no, nice move there from the number 21 into the race lead then. It's just a great little battle here, isn't it? It's got a bit calmer, a bit cleaner since a few frantic laps. And yes, so far they just seem to be trying to get the measure of each other. And like you said, a few different lines, different places where, you know, a different rider looks a little bit stronger. So it could be an interesting tactical one on the last lap, especially because obviously we saw some duels here last year with Daniel Sharil versus Tayo Furusato. Yesterday Danish by himself, and we didn't really get that move on the last lap between the other guys fighting for the podium, but so far these guys are already absolutely carving each other up, and I think I spoke to him soon saying it was a bit calmer because Mie just straight back through, and Danish again looks to be just struggling to hang on to the back of them. He just went wide and he's just dropped back a little bit.
There's a lot of mistakes from Danish here today, from yesterday being so dominant and just absolutely inch perfect, basically a second a lap quicker than everybody. So just a lot of errors in this particular race, so could be a bit of fatigue maybe coming in, or, well, not sure really.
I don't know, yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. He may just be a little bit bothered that he's got so much company at the front after that performance yesterday, but especially Azawa, because Mie, we didn't know, he was an unknown quantity after he crashed on lap 1 yesterday, but the number 21 looked like he'd have to really pull something special out the bag to stay with Danish today, and he has done so. So impressive stuff from Shinya Azawa overnight to come out in this race. And
a big look behind.
I was going to say, yes, he is still there, but I think Danish might be able to get a little bit closer here and into the braking zone. I keep saying breaking point, it's not really English. But as you were at the front, and let's see if Danish has cut that gap a little bit with that slipstream.
Oh, I thought Azawa was going to nab Mie out of the front then. That was an interesting different line choice. He's such a smiley character, is Azawa, isn't he? But, well, a smiley assassin, you could say. I think it's International Smile Day as well. So, yes, but that was... Danish has seemed to caught back on the front of these guys this time around. As he came across the line, well, he was half a second adrift from Azawa just in front of him, but now he's clawed back a tenth or so. But this flowing section is so crucial to absolutely nail, because you can really make some time if anybody makes a mistake, as Danish found out the hard way a few laps to go.
Yes, absolutely. It really can mess with your lap time, can't it? If you lose that momentum and just mess up those sections, because the corners fit together so wonderfully that you just have that concertina effect, really, don't you? If you fluff one bit, you're in it for the long haul, unfortunately. But here is that battle then, just behind that leading group. At the moment, Adaki leading it, but there's 4 of them now, and then a bit of a gap back to the others. So this was a huge freight train a few laps ago, nearer the start of the race, but now just starting to kind of move out into little pockets of 3-4 riders fighting it out. We'll have to see, though, because everything can change in the ATC, especially when that gaggle of riders punches a little bit bigger hole in the air.
Yeah, 6.8 seconds they are adrift from any sort of podium spot, so they're definitely fighting for the Wooden Spoon Award, 4th position, but it's more about the results.
My favourite
and
award.
Then the progression, yeah. Me too, it's the only one I ever would have got in Sports Day back in the day, but here we are. Adaki, that is a good performance. I mean, you expect a little bit more from him, having taken a race win already, but I think we can't really take away what an impressive performance this is from a rookie, as we see another rookie head back into P1.
Yeah, exactly. I think Adaki as well. Oh, it's close again there between those two. Those different lines really making me a little bit nervous with the camera angle. But yeah, Adaki definitely, I think, will need points on the board today. He can't have another crash, so if he's not got more than 4th is a very good finish for a rookie and for any rider, really. So yeah, main objective for him will be take as many points as possible, and if it's not in the podium battle, then so be it, but it has to be a finish.
Yeah, worth pointing out as well, the pace from this trio out front is significantly quicker than those behind them. You got Didik, the only rider in the 144s last time around, and Oof. The other 2 were in the 145.2s, but that won't help any sort of lap times as Mie heads back through into the lead once again on Izawa. So Didik, he's got back these 2 back up. He's really sort of settled in now after those that little trio of mistakes that he made earlier on. So a bit calmer for the Malaysian at the moment. Yeah,
you think he's probably got a little bit more of a more regular heartbeat now, back on the back of them, and no stress. They've not escaped into to make it a duel for the win. But yeah, Izawa then just a little mistake from the number 21 there, and Gunmie needing no second invitation to head through into the lead. We still have a fair way to go in this race, so good news for us. It looks like we're going to get a great fight to the finish between these guys. But yeah, I don't know, we can't call it at the moment, can we? Gunmie, though, seemingly a little bit less flustered than the others. We've not seen too many mistakes today from the number 5. It's a really solid job, because let's not forget, Adaki needs that finish, but so does Gunmie, because he also crashed out yesterday and took 0 points. I think he's about to lose the lead, though.
Yeah,
he is
that
indeed.
Is really impressive from Izawa. That sort of moved the difference in line choice there. Got to say, just perfectly executed once again. You can almost tell the difference from the start of the race to the end of it, how much he's learned just following these 2 with a year of extra experience on these bikes under their belts, and also more laps around this circuit too.
Yeah, I was wondering about Adaki off the start. Obviously, at the time, the Japanese rider had trying to stay ahead of Hakim Danish and losing out, but then I thought, well, if you do follow him, obviously with the advantage he had yesterday, maybe he'll unlock some secrets to Mandalika. But no, it wasn't to be for the number 14. And at the moment, these guys seemingly needing no help from the Malaysian to stay at the front of this race. And really close again there. It's still 5 laps to go after this one, guys. Let's keep it nice and calm.
Yeah, that was a real noticeable difference in the way that Izawa was braking out towards turn 10 than it was earlier on. He couldn't have any answers for Mie or Didik, who were trying to make an overtake and move round the outside, no less, earlier on. But that time, he just sort of let his brakes off. That was just brilliant. You're seeing visual learning here in the Mandalika, which is what this series is frankly all about.
It is, absolutely. It's all about the progress, like winning podiums. That's all great as well, of course, but it's also about the progress you make throughout the season. And yeah, speaking of progress, Gunmie making some more there.
Yeah, absolutely nailed that drive out of turn 14 and through turn 15, making that overtake stick in towards turn 16. We're back on the new section of asphalt that we got there. You can see it's much darker than before. That's what caught a few riders out yesterday. This first section, you can't, if it has rained, you can't see any damp patches because it's pretty much the same colour. No such problems today, though, with the dry weather. The tone of the race is starting to change, Fran. 5 laps to go, and it's looking a little bit more about jostling for position rather than pulling out a lead ahead even more from the 4th place, who are now 8 seconds back.
Yeah, they've pulled out that gap bit by bit, haven't they? And it's definitely a podium to lose for these guys. So hopefully we won't see any drama and we'll get a nice clean shuffle to decide this race. But yeah, it's getting a little bit more frantic at the front, isn't it? Especially the number 21 of Ozawa and number 5 of Gunmie looking a little bit more elbows out, aggression, ready to really take it to each other. But we'll see how we get. Oh, yeah, you see, just for once proving me right. Number 21, really different line there. But I think Mie's got it covered. He has indeed.
That was a cracking camera angle. We've not really seen that one before,
no,
have we? That was someone's clearly moved the cameraman up there. Here's a great slow-mo of turn 17, the final corner, that changeover onto the newer asphalt. We're watching Gunmie navigate his way through the final corner, knee down, scraping against the curbs there. They are a little bit raised, so you get a little bobble on, and perfectly in the bubble straight out of it. Here we go then, down towards turn 10 once again, and we've got Dinesh, who's right on the back of them now, looking to try and make some moves. No, it's not turn 10, got the camera angle confused again. It's out turn 14, that was. Looks pretty similar, but they've got, I think that's Akbar ahead of them. A back marker coming out. Yes, he's okay. He's let them through after his crash earlier on, thankfully.
Yeah, that's good stuff then from the wildcard. Good racecraft. Also important part of learning. But Dinesh then has picked another pocket and up into 2nd place. Maybe the Malaysian is ready to try and push and get in the battle at the front again, elbows out, because it was quite the Ozawa Mie show for a couple of laps there with the Malaysian just hanging back. But at the moment, though, still nothing to decide between them. But we do have some long lap penalties that have just come up on the timing screen. Yeah, unfortunately, your podium finisher from yesterday, Fadilla, is going to have to go through the long lap penalty lane. He's currently in 6th position. Then we've also got one for number 19, that's Hafi, the Malaysian, who's down in 14th place, just behind Puetizan, about 2/10 behind the Thai rider. Will also have to go through a long lap penalty. This is why we say you got to avoid not just, well, the green. You can't be taking shortcuts like we saw Dinesh do at this exact point in the circuit, well, about half the race ago now. Yeah, it was a while ago now. The number 13's kept it nice and tidy since those few little mistakes he had. But yeah, certainly it's going to be a painful one as well, with not much time left in the race to try and get back on terms with the riders you're fighting at the moment. That long lap penalty is going to certainly put a dent in Fadilla's finishing position and Hafi as well. Wow. So we'll see. But so far so good for the front runners. I think Dinesh was obviously just making a couple of errors rather than trying to be too cheeky. Well, he nearly made another one there. Yeah, he did indeed. Turn 12, he had a big twitch going through there. We saw a few Motogp riders go down at that point on the circuit yesterday. Lost a bit of ground, a bit of drive out of turn 14 into this 15-16 sort of combined corner that they've got. So inviting for an overtake. I'll be fascinated to see, and I'm sure plenty of Moto3 riders in the World Championship will be eager to see what sort of overtaking moves are made into that section, how the race is won exactly, because there are a variety of options that you've got in that final section. There are indeed. So here we go then. There's 3 more after this one, but Gunmie then moving to try and take the lead, but no, Dinesh then keeping it nice and tidy, the number 13. He leads once again. There you can see the confirmation of the long laps for Fadilla and Hafi, but and we've still got a group of 4 battling here then. I think that's the Adaki-led battle for 2nd. Correct. So the yellow helmet of Wakamatsu, which is always a dead giveaway. But yeah, there we go, number 14. Fadilla, wow. There we go. God, that was like a late decision. Mistake. Yeah. Goodness. So through he goes, and unfortunately that is his battle for 4th pretty much over and done with. 3 laps to go. Ain't no chance with this sort of pace. So he will be going for that. And who was that? That was Mie, who nearly did the full Carter Thompson from yesterday. You've got to be so careful with your line choice there, but he won't get penalised for that because, well, unfortunately, he's lost so much time already. Can he get settled once again, though? Because he's not actually lost that much ground. He's not lost as much as you'd think, given that he even had his hand in the air, like, I'm off here, I'm off. But nicely saved then from the number 5, a little bit dramatic. Is this a replay already? Just went wide. He just a little bit offline. Wide, like, just a little bit, a metre or so. And you are nearly over the bars. The presence of mind to raise your hand in that situation as well always blows my mind. Everything goes in slow motion at that sort of speed. just be panicking and maybe just lightly screaming to myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, nicely saved then from the number 5. I'm sure he's had a bit of a spike of adrenaline from that. Let's see if he can just settle back down and tag back onto the back of this duo. At the moment though, Danish with a couple of meters in hand behind him, but it can all change so quickly in the Asia Talent Cup. Yeah, let's see if Izawa can get back on terms with him.
You talk about a little adrenaline spike. I think that would have been the same for Izawa, who had a grandstand view of Mie's near error there. So he's chasing back on to Hakim Danish at the moment. Just needs to get settled. The gap as they came across the line was 0.4 of a second. Not much if he manages to get this next section nailed. We're in towards turn 2, turn 3. The difference in line choices between these two here. This is really crucial to nail your run out onto the flat out section of turn 4. It's about full throttle from now, and they do it all the way towards turn 10. So line choice is key at this moment.
It is, and I think, don't want to call it too early, but I think Mie is going to be out of this fight for the win at the moment. Japanese rider may be saying, you know what, after a crash yesterday, 16 points is pretty grande for me today, because these two really starting to pull out some ground now.
Yeah, I've got to say, I think that was another mistake from Danish. His line choice wasn't nailed, and he just let Izawa catch right onto the back of him once again, so that little advantage that he had is well and truly gone. So we've got a proper battle royale on this penultimate lap of round 2 in the Asia Talent Cup. Mie, well,
maybe I called it too soon.
9/10 of a second, he's closing in again, but will it be fast enough? That's the big question for the Japanese rider.
This is the thing, you've got to arrive on the scene and then have time to make that move as well. Danish
Another 10th for Mie, so he's catching, he's going for it, he's giving it absolutely everything.
Yeah, it really looked like he just dropped off the back of them quite significantly in the first part of that lap, but no, he's coming, isn't he, the number 5, gunning for glory here. I'm sorry, sometimes you've got to do it.
He's shooting for first position.
He is indeed, and a big mistake there from Izawa.
His countryman, well, goes so wide, he's back on towards P2. Izawa gives a little shake of the head. He's frustrated with himself. Does that leave Danish, as we head on to this last lap, in prime position to take second win here in Mandalika?
I think it may well do. Just the Malaysian needs to realise that he is alone at the front, keep it nice and tidy, the number 13 now, because we have seen him in the green a few times. But yeah, big mistake from Izawa then. Not too much harm done, is that he's still in this podium battle, but he's also lost out on that second position. So we've got an all-Japanese duel for second here.
Let's look at the intermediates as they come out of section 1. So Mie is 9/10 of a second adrift from Danish. What about when they come through these sort of sections, they get towards intermediate 2? What will the gap be then? Danish doesn't have great line choice characteristically through here, but I think that time, when he needed to most, he absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, I think he did indeed. So, they're not that far behind, are they? The number 13, any little tiny mistake
now, so that's 0.15 of a second.
That's incredible, isn't it? You can see them visually getting closer and closer. I don't know if they're going to have enough time, though, to really make an attack. We will have to see. At the moment, though, Mie hanging on to that second place, and the number 5 really giving it everything to try and be in this fight for the win.
Look what this will do for the championship, though. 1 point will be separating. Hakim Danish will take the lead from Izawa. If it stays like this, Mie, time is running out for him. I think it is too late. It looks like Izawa has settled for 3rd place. Tranduk Tai has gone down at turn 16. That was a lap ago. These are the final corners. I think it's going to be glory for Danish once again here for the Malaysian. Just one more corner to go. It's too little too late for Mie, but still a 2nd place will be sensational. Out the final corner the Malaysian comes. It's going to be glory once again for the number 13 from Mie, and then Izawa takes the podium. What a race that was once again here in Indonesia.
That was .272 in the end for good Mie.
Goodness
Absolutely
me.
incredible. And here's that second group then fighting for 4th place in the end. Adaki held onto that from Wakamatsu. Another solid job from the number 2 to move through the field. Carter Thompson, some nice good points there in 6th place. And yeah, Raycat Fadilla then after that long lap penalty 7th. Hamad Al Salhuti once again moving through the field into 8th. And Trihadika and Hafui completing the top 10 there as well.
Goodness me, what a great little array of results. Lovely show of sportsmanship from Danish and Mie then. Yep. Little fist bumps. They're all comrades here, aren't they?
Wasn't it?
I don't know of any rivalries in the Asia Talent Cup. I don't know of any of the riders that don't like each other or anything like that. They all seem very chummy. They do travel around, well, Asia and Oceania together all year long. So Yeah, it's good to see.
We had some good vibes in the Accenture workshop on when was it? On Thursday it was here, going through some social media and communication skills for these guys, including a little bit of English practice too. And yeah, the vibes were really good there. Some some great quotes. But you can see there then transductite taken to the medical centre. So hopefully the Vietnamese rider all okay and just getting checked out after that late crash for him.
Normally when we see it for a checkup, it's just a precautionary measure.
Exactly. I think it had initially come up rider okay, so hopefully he's just thinking, maybe that twinges more than I thought, and just going to get that checked out. But another great race in the Asia Talent Cup here, and some close finishes again as well.
Yeah, very close indeed, wasn't it? So 2.72 separating Mie and Dinesh at the end. Just you can't help but think if Mie got himself together with just one sort of sector earlier, he could have actually caught up to Dinesh. What are we about to see here? This is the turn 15. This is the, not sure, the race-winning overtake maybe? I think it could be. Yeah, this should be it. The race-winning overtake. So Dinesh goes into turn 1, just around the outside, later braking. Cuts across the nose of Mie in towards turn 1. And that little look behind just to check if he's going to get anybody sent at the inside. Yeah.
Great stuff.
How many times will we see this again today, hopefully?
Yeah, exactly. This final section as well is just fantastic to watch. If you haven't watched racing at Mandalika before this weekend, check out the ATC races from here last year and the World Superbike round as well, because there's some absolutely great moves with those guys as well. There you go then. Yep, he's very close to you, but you've done it again, Hakeem Dinesh. Congratulations to the Malaysian. Really stunning weekend for him here, right up into contention now after maybe a little bit more of a muted weekend in Qatar compared to what you might have expected from him being a veteran.
Yeah, I think that's a totally fair assessment from Hakeem Dinesh. Sometimes it just takes a little while to let them get going, really, wasn't it? What's this replay we're going to see? Oh, he's back in Park Ferme now. He's with other Malaysians such as Razlan Rizali. Haven't got Fahmi Karuddin with us this weekend, I don't think.
I have not seen Fahmi. There's Rudy from Alpine Stars down in Park Ferme as well. And our lovely camera woman getting all of the action.
But Dinesh, of course, yeah, pair of 5th places back in Qatar. So that was a quiet start to the year. We did expect a bit more given he was on podiums previously. But, hey, with those sort of the 2 performances, one of them's a runaway victory in dominant style, the other one fending off a